All right, all right. What's up, everybody? It's Monday, June 21st. We back at this again. We about to talk some real estate for all you guys tuning in today. We got a lot of good stuff going on with a lot of members within the Well Squad. So we have people in the New Jersey area looking to close a deal. We have people in the Florida area looking to close a deal. We have somebody in California on the verge of closing a deal. We have people utilizing first-time homebuyer programs in multiple states that we've covered. We got a lot of wholesalers that have been reaching out a lot more. We got some wholesalers that are helping people that are in the Northern Virginia area. We have people that are in the Philly area. When I say people, I mean Well Squad members. We have people in California, Texas, Florida that are, have deals, presenting deals. We have real estate agents within the Well Squad looking to help people. We have lenders in the Well Squad looking to help people. So, something I always talk about at the end of these classes that we do is, utilize our network that we have in the Well Squad. We have over 35,000 members, a lot which are in real estate some way or form or another, whether it be, they do wholesaling, they do fix and flips. We have contractors, we have lawyers, we have agents, we have, like I said, we have a little bit of everything. Sometimes in these classes, people will kind of speak out here and there, just kind of saying what area they're in, and they'll kind of drop their name and allow people to reach out to them. So make sure you guys are utilizing the chats if you have questions and things like that. I've been able to get back to everyone who's been sending me messages. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, or if you guys are in the process of a deal and you guys aren't too sure of things and you guys kind of want to reach out, just shoot me a message. I have a lot of people that are in deals and they just are kind of keeping me updated as the deals go along. Not necessarily looking for guidance, but just kind of want to make sure that it's, going smoothly, or if nothing sounds kind of fishy or things like that. Because we do have people that are seasoned real estate agents. We have seasoned real estate investors. We have people who are new to the game. So we have, people who are just interested. We have people with just, one property, 20 properties, no properties, looking to get their first. So we have a little bit of everything. So when I open up the Q&A at the end, that's a good time for you guys to ask questions. And a lot of you guys send me messages in the Well Squad or on my social media. And you guys have a lot of good questions. I would wish you guys would ask some of these questions in this, so that way other people can kind of hear and I can give them the answer as well. Because I am getting a lot of multiple questions of the same thing, the same subject. So it'd just be good, because you just never know. Somebody else might have that same question as you. And like I always tell people, this is a safe place. There is no such thing as a stupid question. People ask all different types of questions every time we have these classes, and I try to answer everyone's question. I don't know it all. I don't have all the answers. I don't do it all. So I try to connect people, with the right answers. We have people that are in Canada. We have people in Europe that I've been helping, people in other countries and things like that. So a lot of great things are going on. And as we keep building momentum with these classes, people are doing good things. You guys are taking the information that's being taught from these classes, and you guys are actually putting it to use. So that's really good. So in today's class, I'm gonna keep it pretty short and simple for today. What I want to do is I just kind of want to tell you guys where I'm at right now with my deals, what I have going on. And then what I want to do is just kind of open up the floor for anyone out there who has questions. Maybe if you guys want me to do a first time home buyer program for your state, just kind of mention on here. I always say, send me a message as well. For those of you guys are familiar with, my real estate journey, I like to invest in turnkey properties. So what that is properties that already typically have tenants in them, or they don't need much work, right? So I look for fourplexes. I'm looking everywhere. Right now, I'm going heavy down south. I like the way the market is looking down south. A lot of potential down there. And then I'm getting a lot of good words from things happening up north, like in the Jersey area and things like that. So I've been kind of talking with some of our members in here that are in the Jersey area. They've been kind of putting me on game on what's going down out there. A lot of great Philly auctions have been going on. I've been mentioning a lot of auction sites that I use. I'm actually looking at auction.com right now for another property that I'm looking to get in the Los Angeles area. Great price, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,400 square feet. I'm just waiting for the auction to open up here any minute. So I kind of got, my another phone set to the side for that. I just got a auction property in Illinois about a month and a half. Illinois about a month and a half ago. Still working on that. I've been getting some offers, but not the offer that I want. So I'm just patiently waiting for that. If I don't get anything probably by this year, what I'll do is I'll get some contractors and I'll go ahead and rehab it because it needs a lot of work. It needs about anywhere from probably 30 to 50,000 in work. The area that it's in, it could bring in about $750 to $800 a month in rent, which is pretty good. And then once I do all that, I'll have the option to refi to get my money back, at least some of it, if not all of it, get my money back, take that money and use it for my next property, right? That's the name of the game. Some horror stories that's going on, right? Because there's always the bad. We talk about the good, and I always try to focus on the good when it comes to real estate. But you guys need to know, right? It's not all peaches and cream. So I want to tell you guys, I have multiple properties, and for the most part, it's been pretty smooth sailing. But recently, one of my roofs to one of my buildings is completely done. There was just a lot of damage that's just been happening to it over the year, with all this weather change going on these last couple of years. So one of my units has really taken a beating. I'm in the works with an insurance adjuster because it does get pretty windy where this unit is at. So I'm trying to see, if my insurance will cover any of that, if the winds match, and they got the insurance adjuster out there doing their thing. So if not, that's going to be some bread out of pocket that I'm going to have to, fix. It's a roof for a fourplex. It needs to be completely redone pretty much. They said, I got probably about a good year and a half to 2 years that I could stretch it if I really wanted to put it off, but I don't want to do that because, I have people living in there. I don't want it to get to that point to where it absolutely has to be done. So, you got to have the money set aside to get those things done. There was one of my buildings that had a big tree. I had to get a tree removed and 2 trees trimmed, and that cost me $1,000 just to get a little tree removed. I mean, it was pretty big, but a tree removed and then also 2 trees trimmed because the insurance went out. They seen the trees were touching the building as some type of hazard, whatever, for their policy. So I had to get, some of the trees trimmed. I had to get, some of the trees removed. So always keep money on standby for that. I had some plumbing issues in one of my units. So, things are going to come up. That's why it's always good. If you stick to your numbers, like I always talk about, if you guys go through, if you guys miss any of the other classes, a lot of great classes in the beginning, talking a lot about the benefits to real estate, taxes, appreciation, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of great benefits to real estate. There are the downfalls that you guys will cross when you come along your journey, but you just have to know, separate your money. I always tell you guys, separate your, just like if you have a business or anything else, you want to always keep that money separate. You also want to do the same thing with your real estate. So all my real estates, properties, they're all in LLCs. They all have their own bank accounts, and the money doesn't get mixed up. So that way, when it comes to taxes for my CPA, anything, all these expenses, property management, right? All that stuff is good when it comes to tax time. It's just going to benefit you. So you don't want to be scrambling. You don't want to be trying to find something. You're like, oh, I remember I did either a plumbing or electrical back, way back when, right? You want to stay on top of all that stuff. So stay on top of it, right? The more you're on top of it, the more you're proactive. I always tell you guys, stay proactive with your property manager, stay proactive with your real estate agent. And I'll give you guys a good example. I have a real estate agent who has been great, and she doesn't even know it yet, but I'm getting ready to plug her with a whole bunch of investors. So I have some big time investors that are looking to do some stuff with their money because, believe it or not, just because people have a lot of money, that doesn't necessarily mean they know what to do with it. So they're kind of using me as the middleman to kind of help them get set up. So I'm going to put them off to this real estate agent that I've been dealing with. I don't know if I said property manager earlier, real estate agent, but this new real estate agent I've been dealing with, and this is how I got connected with her. So one of my agents that I've done a deal with before reached out, asked me if I knew anyone selling any properties, and like I always share with you guys what I got going on. I told her actually I do. I just acquired a property through an auction, and it needed a lot of work. So she kind of plugged me with this real estate agent out in Illinois, and this lady has really been on top of her game. And it's crazy because in our contract, her commission is only going to be about $3,000, regardless of what I sell the property for. She's not taking a percentage. She just wants a small fee. Like I said, because it was a property I got from auction and needs a lot of work. So, I'll probably end up getting anywhere from 25, 30, maybe 35,000 on the high end from it. And, she's only taking a small percentage. She's only going to take, what she's going to take. And the work that she's been doing for me, just, it tells me a lot about the type of person she is. And this is the stuff that I always talk about. These are the agents that you guys want to find, that are constantly on top of things. She's driving by the property for me. She just told me, it needed some landscaping work done. She's constantly reaching out to her network that she has. She's constantly doing it, and she's only going to make a few grand. So it's like she's going all out. She's doing all this work for me to make sure things get done. And there's another property that I'm getting ready to buy in the area. It's a nice triplex. They want 70,000 for it, and it rents out for 1350. All three units together rents out for 1350. So a great find, where she's gonna have people. She's gonna have a home inspector go through and walk through for free for me. It's like she's doing things for me that I've never seen. It's hard to find that type of stuff. To find it's a guy. He's another real estate agent that's on her team. He's part-time real estate agent, and he's a part-time home inspector. And so he's on her team, and she said that he's going to go out and do the inspection for me. Now, I'm not against paying because I want to get a quality inspection, but from the work and from the things that this lady has shown me, she's really on top of her shit, right? And that's the type of people that I want on my team. And, by her being on top of her game, I'm just going to feed her. I have, a $10 million portfolio getting ready to come at her way to get properties either in her area or other deals, right? It's not my money. It's other people that I know that are within real estate that are looking to do some stuff with their money. So her being on top of her game. So she has me, I'm going to plug her with Chris. And then some of my other friends who are big time investors, I'm going to be plugging her all this because, you got to salute, you got to respect, and you got to keep people around who are really on top of it. Because as you guys deal with this, and the stories that I've even heard from a lot of you guys is that some of you guys are running into real estate agents who are only part-time. Not saying that part-time real estate agents aren't good, but you notice a big difference working with a part-time real estate agent versus a full-time. And then it's like when you start working with different agents in different states, everyone operates differently. And that's just because, some cities are bigger and there's a lot more going on. They have bigger players versus those small, because I have some properties in really small rural areas, and I also have some properties that are kind of like in the big city, right? So I get the best of both worlds. I kind of get to see, how these different agents, how these different property managers are working and how they're networking, the things they're doing. And really all I'm doing is just kind of soaking up this knowledge, right? I don't really know what my end game is for this real estate stuff, but I would love to get like a big hotel building. This is something me and Chris talk about. We really want to expand into that commercial real estate side where, people are really making, the big bucks, right? Commercial real estate, that's where the heavy hitters are. That's where all the big fish play. So, I want to try to do something with that. So I'm just really getting all my knowledge, learning all the ins and outs from all this stuff. And, everything that I've been able to learn from this journey has, helped me for my financial freedom, learning more, teaching more, spreading the word. So it's really good for me. A lot going on. Like I said, it doesn't never stop. Sticking with these auctions and stuff, looking at properties every day like that. But, that's kind of a little bit of what I have going on right now. The next class that we do, a lot of people have been asking about, they want to know more about FHA and stuff like that and different things like that and how to get creative. So we're going to start focusing a lot more on how to get you guys money, how to get you guys finance to get into these bigger deals. For those of you that aren't looking to use whether FHA or VA, because we do have some people that are in some big areas that, some people want to do big deals. Some people do have money saved up and are looking to really make something work with that money. So, we've kind of been going slow up until this point, up until this class. I believe this might be class number 10 or 11 that we've done, maybe 12. But now you guys, we're getting to that point to where I'm going to turn it up a notch. We're going to go more into terminology. I might even start having, people come on as guests and kind of do something with me. So we're going to be definitely turning it up a notch. I don't want to leave anyone behind. All these classes are recorded. You guys can go back and kind of get it, but it's like, we can't stay on the basics forever, right? We kind of get the basics just to kind of get everybody in there, but now we got to start turning it up a notch and we got to start growing, right? So a lot of you have been reaching out to me and people have been getting deals. So, that shows me what we've covered so far is really great and really good, especially for people that have no knowledge in real estate and, afraid of getting those deals and things like that. Things are rolling. So hopefully for those of you that do want to get in real estate and take it serious, hopefully you guys have been attending these classes, or hopefully you guys have went back and watch some of the other classes and started networking. We do have a lot of good people networking and things like that. So that's kind of my little spiel today. Like I said, now we're just going to open it up for the Q&A. If you guys are new, we kind of get all over the place in this because for any of you guys that follow me know that I'm in a lot of stuff. So people ask me questions on different things. We talked about gov deals last week or the week before that, on how to get stuff from there and resell it, things like that. So we're going to open the floor up. If you guys have any questions, whether it be real estate, let's try to do real estate first. If no one really has too many on real estate, then we could just kind of tap into whatever you guys want. So if you guys are in deals, have any questions, want to give your little 2 cents or whatever, this is that time. And like I said, you guys just go ahead and fire off at me.
Hello. Hey, so I got a question. So it's about, I think you were leading towards it's talking about the realtor that you were employing. So I'm looking to be an investor for real estate as well. Okay. However, I'm located in West Texas, but I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
So if I was to find something out in Atlanta, are you saying that you use the realtor as kind of like the property or the project manager is at the same time?
Correct. And you can use either if your realtor is that good, not all of them have that type of network. So you just have to ask them what type of network they have. And if it's not the real estate agent, and then maybe check with property managers in the area. Now, are you looking to go back to the Atlanta area, or would you be willing to kind of go outside the area a little bit?
I'll go outside the area. It's whatever. Just looking for it as an investor.
Have you looked in the Smyrna area at all?
I have not personally, but I'm not opposed to that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too far from Atlanta area.
Yeah, definitely take a look at the Smyrna area. Really nice growing area. They have a small Air Force base out there. Also down in Macon as well is a really good area where real estate is up and coming, because Atlanta already has what it has going on. You're going to get what you're going to get. But I tell people, look in those outskirts like Smyrna, Lawrenceville. I'm doing some stuff, like I said, I got some people doing some stuff down in Macon. So take a look at those areas. A lot of great deals. I'll be flying out to that area. So are you going to be out there anytime soon?
If so, it'll be kind of like last minute thing. But if you could just, kind of drop a, date or something like that when you're going to head out there.
Yeah, I'm looking to go out there around September when it kind of cools down a little bit.
Okay.
I don't get down with that humidity out there like that, but yeah, in the September area. But yeah, definitely shoot me a message. I got a lot of good info for the Georgia area, and I have a lot of people out there. So just shoot me a message, and I can get you in contact with some people out there, and yeah, you can get the ball rolling.
Okay, appreciate it.
No problem.
Anyone want to go?
Go ahead.
Okay. I got a couple of questions here. Sure. I wrote them down because last week we didn't have a class. I was expecting the class, but
I know a lot of people were expecting. So we added a DeFi section. So it kind of messed up, or it didn't necessarily mess up, but it kind of spread out our schedule a little bit. So I used to go every week, but now since we added DeFi, he's going to speak sometimes. So that kind of took, certain slots. So unfortunately, they try to get me in once a week, but there might be a week skipped here and there, but you can always reach out to me. But go ahead with your questions.
So the first question is, what would you do, or which steps would you take if you were about to purchase property as a first-time investor or first-time home buyer? and like you're newly into the Wealth Squad, and you know a little bit about, a little bit about FHA loans, you know a little bit about duplexes, this and that, but you're not really entirely, know a lot about about real estate, whatever. If you were newly invested, like which steps would you take?
Okay, that's a really good question, and I always try to, I try not to get too ahead of myself because I know there are a lot of you guys in here that have no experience with real estate. So I always try to think about the mindset that I was in. But after my journey and doing all this, if I could go back and redo it again, I would definitely utilize a first-time homebuyer program that allows you to get up to a fourplex. Not every state that has a first-time homebuyer program will allow you to do this, but all it's going to take from you is doing a little bit of research and find that one. And I would definitely utilize that first-time homebuyers program to get into a fourplex. They require you to live in one unit for at least a year, just kind of like how they do with the FHA and VA and things like that. But you have to look at it like this: you're leveraging the state to get into it, even if it's not something you like. I tell people, if you want to start this real estate journey and you don't come from a family with money, you don't have a lot of money saved up, there are other outlets for you to get into it, but you're just going to have to make a little bit bigger sacrifice, right? So that might mean you might have to move to a state that you didn't think that you would ever live in or even care to live in, but you're only doing it for 1 year, right? You're only doing it to get that property under your belt, to follow the guidelines that they set for you to get into the property. And then, you're building up that equity. You're doing you're still able to get all the benefits. You're still able to collect those rents. You're still able to do all this good stuff. And then I would either, depending on, what the value of the property went up, I would either refinance or just keep it, but I'm able to move out. And then I would leverage another program, right? If you weren't able to find funding or things like that, save up some money. That way you can utilize the FHA, right? FHA only requires you 3.5% down. So then, and you can also get into a fourplex with that. So I would keep leveraging these programs and keep getting my money up to where I don't have to worry about any type of leverage, because when you leverage these programs, they come with stipulations, right? Like the first time home buyer, you got to stay in one of the units for a year. It has to be your primary resident. Same thing like FHA, you have to live in the unit for a year. It has to be your primary resident. But when you put, if you go conventional or if you have funding from somewhere else and you're able to put more than that 20% down, now you don't have to worry about living in it. You don't have to worry about doing all this stuff. But I would use that as a play later down the road to get these, 8 doors under my belt to have leverage, because you can use your rents as leverage to get into your next property and all that good stuff. That's the route I would go. So that way you pretty much get eight real estate doors under your belt for, pennies on the dollar. And, you have that leverage. You're going to be able to leverage that stuff because, even though you're utilizing these programs, you reap all the benefits for as long as you stay on top of your payments and all that good stuff. You're going to be the one reaping the benefits when it comes to filing your taxes. You're going to be the one reaping the benefits when rents increase and you have tenants in there. You're going to be the one reaping the benefits when your 1 year is up and you're able to move wherever you want to. And now you can move out of that unit you were living in and rent it out. Now you have 4 rents coming in from one building. So you're able to do all this good stuff. So if I can go back in time and do things again and start out exactly, where I was kind of at that time, that's the route that I would go.
A follow-up question for the first time homeowners program. You have to specifically, like right now I'm in Pennsylvania. I kind of go to New Jersey and New York or whatever. But do I have to specifically live in that state? Right now I'm in.
Every first-time home buyer program is different. Some programs you have to have the intent. So whatever, so you can do. Some states will allow you to start the program, reach out to the lenders, reach out to the agent, find the property. But some of them give you 60 days to occupy. Some of them you have to occupy after close. So each state is different. You just have to dig deeper, reach out to a lender in that area and see what all you're able to do, how creative you're able to get.
Okay, so I can still do the program depending on if I do my research. But I don't like I want to pay the rent, but I don't want to live inside a home.
Right.
That's possible. That's possible, right?
You just have to, whatever their stipulations are. Like I said, every state is different. So you would have to call, figure out the program rules, and then you would have to abide by those rules pretty much. If you wanted to use the first time home buyer program, you don't have to do that. You could go FHA route where you have to come up with 3.5% down. Then you can live wherever you want. Or, you can find funding, you can find a hard money lender, you can find, family and friends, you guys pile your money together. And then if you come up with the 20% down, then you can live wherever you want. And you guys don't even have to live in it. You can just start renting it out right away.
Okay, so once you do a 20%, that you don't even have to live in the house. 20%, right?
What's that? Correct.
Once you pay
There
20%
are
down.
correct. There are some conventional loans that you can get as well that won't require a mortgage insurance premium, and it also won't require you to have to reside in the resident. That's just going to take you reaching out to a lot of different lenders and actually find that one that will allow you to do that. So there's a lot of routes that you can go. It's just going to take you some time. You're just going to have to sit down, figure out your numbers, figure out what you want to do, and then you're just going to have to start calling around and writing down who will allow you to do what, and then you'll figure out your best route from there.
Robert, curious, like you said that you make your money on the property investment, like the moment you buy it. Like, what do you think he meant by that?
Who said that?
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, exactly. The property, once you get that property, is yours.
No, like he said, you make the profit, or you make the profit the moment you buy the property.
Right, because of depreciation and appreciation.
Okay. I think you're ready. You already explained. You said you buy properties under your LLC, right? So you don't buy under a personal name or anything like that.
Depending on what route you go. So if you go FHA or VA, you're not allowed to have an investment property with those. So I usually wait. If I use one of those routes, I have to wait for that 1 year and 1 day, and then I get the title transferred over into my LLC. If I go conventional route where I don't have to worry about anything, I get it put right in the LLC's name right away.
Okay. That makes sense.
Did you have another question?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the Zoom call, you said a lot, so it kind of X'd out a lot of the questions I had.
Okay.
But I have one over here. How do you calculate the ROI on an investment property? Do you count the rent of each room minus property management fees and etc.?
For what are you trying to figure out, for on your rent or just the property itself, or
like everything? Like what's gonna eat? Let me see. Okay, the rent. Since you pay property managers, and you pay probably, I don't know what else they pay, electric. Nah, they pay electric though. But since you pay property managers and whatever other things you pay, like, do you minus those by the rent you get?
Yeah, so your ROI is going to be, what your profit is, right? What your profit is on that investment. So, what you want to do is you want to calculate, what are you getting in from rents, right? What are you getting in from rents? And then if you have a mortgage, and you have to factor in your mortgage, and you have to factor in other costs that you have, right? So like repair, maintenance, all that good stuff. And then, so you'll be able to, a lot of that stuff is gonna fluctuate. So it's gonna be easier for you after that first year to figure out what your ROI is after you calculate, everything for that year that just went by. Once you calculate all that stuff and you see what you have left over, that's going to determine what your ROI is. So a good way to do it is like your gain on investment, versus minus your cost of investment. You take that total number and you divide it by your cost of your investment. That's going to be your total ROI. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
It's really simple. It's really easy. You'll be able to, like I said, a lot of your numbers are going to be, a lot of your numbers aren't going to fluctuate. So you'll have those numbers, but it's those other little numbers, like how much you have to spend on maintenance and things like that. So, once you hit that year mark, you're able to go back, figure out all those numbers, and then you'll be able to get what your ROI is.
I have a question on that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I talk to a lot of people, and I'm just starting to get into the game, going to like meets and stuff in the neighborhoods. that I'm looking. So like the one thing holding me back, like mainly, I think, is me focusing so much on the ROI and the cash flow.
Right.
Some people I talk to have certain, stipulations and things like that that they put in and percentages and stuff like that. But other people just kind of say, don't worry too much about it. You'll figure it out. Just get in the game, figure something out. What's like your target? What do you look for as far as repair deductions? What do you put aside as far as percentage wise? And then what do you look for as far as cash flow at the end of it all?
Right.
Like what's a green light for you?
Right. So that's a really good question. And, it's funny because when I first was getting in, you're reading all this stuff and it all sounds good on paper when you're reading it. But then when you're actually doing stuff and you're crunching the numbers, you're like, you kind of feel like you're all over the place. So this is what I did when I first was starting out. I went and got my numbers, those numbers that aren't going to fluctuate. Right. So I contacted the like the electrical the companies, like the gas company, all that stuff, to figure out what was paid on the year before, so I can have a good idea. Because my very first property that I got, the owner was paying some of the utilities. So you get like a rent roll, or T12 is what they call it, is what you can get when you're getting ready to purchase a property. You can get a good idea of what the owner was paying, what the owner was getting in rents, and then also what they were paying out. So that is going to be a good start for you to kind of get your numbers right, because you can see, if the same tenants are in there, if they renewed their contracts, if their contracts aren't coming up, things like that. You can see what you're going to get in rent, right? You're already going to know what you're going to get in rent, and then you can see what they paid in utilities. Utilities obviously fluctuate, but they don't fluctuate enough like that. They're it's small enough for you to kind of get a good ballpark for your numbers. So figure out, who's paying the utilities. Is it going to be you, or is it going to be on your tenants? And then also figure out, can I get it put on my tenants, right? Because that's just going to increase your ROI. Another thing that you can do is I contacted the lenders. I got you can't get your rate locked in obviously until you get the ball moving forward, but you can get good ballpark numbers. So it needs to make sense. If you're gonna get a mortgage on the property, does your monthly mortgage, right? You can get all your costs. You can get your insurance, you can get your taxes, you can get all this stuff before you even dedicate yourself to a property. So figure out all that stuff. Figure out what your taxes are going to cost you for the year. Figure out what your insurance is going to cost you for the year. Figure out what your P&I, your principal and interest, what's that going to cost you for the year? What are you bringing in for rents, right? And then do you have a property manager? Do you not have a property manager? Are you paying utilities or not? So write all these numbers down, every single expense that the previous owner had and the ones that you might have as you take over. Run through those numbers, and if whatever you end up with, if that number makes sense to you, or you feel like you can get creative with it, it might be heavy in the negative, right? There's I know I found a great deal, and I thought it was a great deal until I seen that there was $1,100 HOA fee on it, and that killed my number and my bottom line. So it steered me away from that, because the rule for vacancies is 3 to 5% is what they say. It's really the 50-50 rule. So you're supposed to 50% of what you get for your rental income is supposed to go towards all your expenses, is what they say, but it doesn't necessarily always work out that way. And if we have any people that are in real estate in here, you guys know that a lot of these rules that people say to stick by, it doesn't necessarily pan out that way. Sometimes you can find deals that will pan out and follow all these rules that they talk about in Bigger Pockets and all these different podcasts. In a sweet world, yes, things will work out that way, but for any of us who are in real estate, we know it doesn't necessarily work out that way. But you can work to try to do things right. You can, does the place need upgrades so you can increase rents, right? You need to keep looking to see what you can do to keep increasing things, because that's the name of the game. That's, it's a numbers game. So figure out all your numbers. And if that, after everything is calculated, if that last number that you end up with, if it makes sense to you and it seems right, run through it a couple times. And then if the numbers look good, pull the trigger. That's how I run my numbers. I don't try to guesstimate anything. I want actual factual numbers. That's where people go wrong, is they try to guesstimate stuff. There's going to be stuff that's going to pop up. There's going to be things that are going to happen. Like I just said, I got to get a roof replaced. I had to get trees removed. I had to replace someone's, sink and this and that. So things are going to come up. You can't necessarily worry about that. You need to make sure like that bottom line after everything is all said and done, where you're going to be at. How long is it going to take you to get that cash on cash back? So meaning however much you have to put into getting this property, how long do you foresee yourself taking before you can get that money back, see that money back, things like that. So that's a lot of stuff that I look at, if that makes sense. I hope that answered what you were asking.
Yeah, and also, if you could add, what's a green light like cash flow number for you, and what's like a red light cash flow number for you?
Yeah, it's so, for me, anything for a red light for me, I'm to the point now to where I can work things where I can almost come away green right away. And when I say green, for those of you guys listening, I mean that everything is covered, all my expenses are covered, and I can put, $5, $25, $50, $100, couple $100, right? As long as that final number is green, obviously that's definitely a go, right? If you write everything down and your rents cover all your expenses and it puts money in your pocket, for me, that's already a green light. Even if it's only like $5 or $10, that's a green light, because I know I can get creative down the line. I know rents are going to constantly increase. So for me, I think, I try to stay away from stuff that's anywhere from 750 in that 1,000 range negative. I try to stay away, and not saying that that's not good. And there's a lot of things that you can do to change that. I just don't want to put my time and effort into that when I could just do the research and I can find the properties that I want. There's so many properties throughout the United States that I don't have to worry about trying to get a property that I have to fix it up just to try to get myself in the green, right? I've been doing this long enough. I have a good enough team to send me deals to where I'm coming out in the green all the time. So me personally, now I like to come out in the green. I hardly ever find deals where I'm having to pay anything. That just takes time. It just takes being consistent with this stuff. Really, I'm telling you guys, I look at stuff every day. Every day I'm looking at stuff. So.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Yep, it's just all your preference. I know guys who they don't even care about the deal. They're looking 5-10 years down the road, so they'll just hop into stuff and they just kind of take it as they go. I know some players who are like that. I know some players who only need deals to fit their numbers. I know people who do a lot of different stuff. I just say, for your first one, just run your numbers. If it makes sense, get into it. If things don't kind of play out how you want, at least you've seen where things didn't play out how you want. So that way you'll know for the next deal you do. So every deal you do, you're just going to get better and better, right? You're going to start learning different creative ways. There are so many things that I wasn't even taught or told that I could have done. And it was kind of upsetting, but it's not on people to educate you. It's not on your, the lender. It's not on, they're just supposed to tell you what they're supposed to tell you based off the information you give them, right? It's not on them to sit down, hold your hand, and teach you all the little things that you can do. It's just not going to happen. You might find those people who would do it. And if you do find those people, great on them. Keep them in your circle forever, because I have real estate agents that I constantly send people to. My very first agent, she stuck with me for an entire year. She pretty much held my hand. I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't have people in my life that was doing real estate. I didn't know all these terminologies. I didn't know all this stuff. You know what I mean? So I was scared to get in real estate, and she basically held my hand for an entire year, and I owe her so much. And we keep contact. We don't really do too many deals together. It's more of a friendship now than anything. But if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have gotten in real estate, because how easy it was. And I just happened to get blessed. I asked a lot of questions. I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared to ask stupid questions. I went and shouted her. She let me shout her around. She was looking at stuff and I was just writing questions. So now it's funny, because when I'm walking in places, I can walk in a place, 5 minutes, and I can know if it's a good deal or not. Just off the things I was learning from her. I just kept doing it. So now I could just walk right in. I know what to check, what to look for. I really don't even need a home inspector. I just kind of use them more so to check for mold, check the roofing, check under the house type of stuff.
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so before we started, you said, or you asked if anyone wants. Okay, well, I live in Missouri, and I was just wondering if you could do a thing on first time home
Oh, yeah.
buyers from Missouri.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually had a couple people hit me up from Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like new to all this, and this is my first like real estate Zoom call I've joined.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, like, this is kind of a stupid question, but after you get your real estate license, where do you go on from then? Like,
So
where do you start?
I'm not a real estate agent, right? So that's the difference. So are you trying to become a real estate agent? Is that what you're trying to do? Or are you looking to
Yes.
okay. So yeah, so that's something completely. I'm a real estate investor. So I don't have my license
Okay.
anywhere. Yeah, but there we
I can
have
chime in on that. I'm in New Jersey, and I actually just got my real estate license. So I took the class a month ago. You have to take whatever your state requires for you, how many hours of training. Then you have to pass a test with that school that you're taking the hours with. If you pass the test, you're eligible to take a PSI exam from the state. You have to go to a testing center in your state. There's probably a bunch of them in different counties. Once you pass that state exam, you have to do a questionnaire and fingerprints. It's background check, all that kind of stuff. And then you have to just pick like a broker to put your license with. You
Okay.
go there with all your information, your fingerprints, everything like that. And then they get all your information. They sign you up with them. And I think you have 365 days to sign up and do all of that stuff from the day that you pass your test with your school. And if you don't do it within 365 days, you have to start from scratch and do it all over again. So you have 1 year
Okay.
to pass the test with your school, to do fingerprints, questionnaire, pass the PSI exam with your state, and then put your license with a brokerage of your choice. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple.
Okay. Thank you. I
cool.
appreciate that.
Thanks for dropping the info.
No problem.
Which do you think would be more beneficial to someone getting being a real estate agent or just investing in real estate?
It'll never hurt you to be a real estate agent because then you'll just be making money on all your deals. So you can be an agent and you can be an investor. And most agents I know are agents and investors as well. So it's like you know,
Okay.
once you start building your network, you're gonna get deals first before they even hit the MLS,
Right.
before they hit Zillow, whatever, right? So it's like you kind of get an upper hand by becoming an agent because not only do you get deals first, but you're gonna be going to all these seminars, you're gonna be networking with other people. So it's like definitely focus hard on building your network. Anytime they have, real estate seminars in different states, go to that stuff because I know a lot of people who do really well, by doing that. They get that network going and then you're going to learn a lot. And then, like I said, you got first dibs on anytime you get deals. So if you find something, you have your numbers, that fits your criteria, you're getting those deals first. You're going to be having first dibs. So it's not going to hurt you. And then, like I said, you'll be paying yourself to get into a property.
Right. Would you say one is more difficult than the other, or?
Being a real estate investor isn't difficult at all. You just got to know your numbers and find a way to get the funding.
Okay.
As an investor.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah, the only reason I got my license was because, like you said, I wanted to
Double
be
dip.
in. I wanted to be in it. I wanted to have access to all that stuff and all the people, and just have access to the MLS, have access to first dibs on certain things. And
Yep.
I'm that kind of guy that stays up all night just searching and crunching numbers and stuff like that. So when I want to reach out to my realtor, sometimes they don't get back to me as fast as I want. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get my license, and this way I have it all when I need it.
Yep, that's smart, Jack, for sure. That's definitely smart. And just like Jack was saying, there's been times where I found deals that were great, and the agent just didn't get back to me quick enough, and deals go. And as you guys, if any of you guys have been looking at deals right now, this ain't the time to be playing around. If you find a deal that's good, the market is cooling down a little bit, but it's still hot in a lot of places. So you definitely want people who are on top of their stuff. So, you're giving yourself a good advantage for sure. So I personally don't see any downsides to getting a real estate license. You know, I don't know how long you have to retest or how long it's good for, but I really don't see any downsides because you're getting paid to, you know, once you start finding deals for yourself, you're paying yourself for those deals. So
Hey,
good
what's
luck
up,
to you.
Ace?
What up?
Nothing much, nothing much. So I have a question. I think I've asked you this before. I just don't remember.
Uh-huh.
So have you Airbnb any properties yet?
No, but
Oh,
man, it's funny because I think it's about time for me to almost start, especially the way I've got to sit down with someone and see their numbers for this stuff. And any of you guys, if you guys are in a city where people are constantly coming and going, like any of the major cities, the Airbnb stuff is really crazy. You know,
yeah, no, the numbers look great on it. That's why I'm asking because I'm thinking it's kind of simple if you think about it. You don't really have to go purchase a property. You don't have to have the credit. You don't have to
right,
have a down payment. All you really have to do is find a property where you can rent and
yep.
they'll allow you to sublease it. And if they let you sublease it, you're good to go from there. You just stage it and then list it on the app. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm asking for
got
those
I
numbers.
got someone I got someone who gave me easily 6 figures worth of game for free. And I mean, this stuff is crazy what some of these people are doing, how they're furnishing their apartments that they're getting. It's just it's, you know, the game don't stop. There's so much money to be made, and I'm telling you guys, if you guys are in the major cities, and the car rental and the Airbnb stuff is just out of control. It's
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, man.
out of
Because remember, I'm trying to get my second car right now. I've been posting and stuff like that. I appreciate you guys sharing me and everything too.
Oh yeah,
But it's been good. I've learned a lot so far about the car game too because when you get those loans, there's like a loan to value that comes
right.
into play and stuff like
Yep.
that. So I'm trying to figure all that stuff out. So I'm glad I got into it because now I'm learning a lot. But
Yeah.
with the Airbnb, just like you said, you can literally have two businesses that basically work on one lead, let's say, right? Because
Yep.
you have one person, he or she books your property, right? And then you can say, hey, I know you're going to be coming in town for a week. I actually have a Turo business as well. You can rent my cars out. I actually have a discount code for you, whatever, and then you can get
And
double.
that's exactly what they do. So they have a fleet of 30 Airbnbs, not one of them is in their name. And then they also have a fleet of vehicles and most of the time the people that stay at their Airbnbs, they rent their cars. So it's like they're double dipping with these people.
Heck yeah, it's almost like it's really good business. Let me just
Yeah,
tell you.
it is. So we always see people talk about it on YouTube. We always see people talk about it on IG, on Twitter, right? You know, it's different when you see someone talking about it versus actually physically seeing it, right? So someone actually sat me down and showed me, you know, their bank statements, the numbers, how they're doing this stuff, and I just, man, I wish I could duplicate myself and do multiple things at once because it's crazy.
Yeah. Could you have like one of our classes next week? Maybe could you talk about that and stuff and go
Yeah,
into it
I
a little
can.
bit?
I can get all the numbers. I can have them send me over a template. What I'll do is I'll have them send me this. They have everything in a template. So I'll have them send me a template and get the numbers. And one of the classes, I'll just kind of run through all the numbers and the contracts. I mean, this person gave me contracts to give to people. I mean, it's simple. It's easy. You just got to do it. That's really it.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Ace.
Do
No problem.
do you guys think that the market for again, I'm new, so if you disagree,
Yeah.
please feel free to voice your opinion. But
Mhm.
do you think the market for Airbnb is getting more competitive? Plus, there's been so much backlash about Airbnb and just people, because the whole point of it was to uh it's like a cheaper alternative for hotels, and
Right.
now prices are just being absurd and there's backlash. And so do you think it's like still too late to get into the Airbnb game, or
Nope. Everybody I
what's
know.
up? What do you guys think?
I know people who just started, who are a month in, and they've had their place rented out 90% of the time. Not everyone I know that's personally involved in it, they love it. It's all worked out. Some people are making more than others, obviously, but everybody I know that's in it has been profitable. Has there been headaches? Yes, of course. Have there been issues that have came up that they've had to deal with? Of course, but that's why you have insurance. That's why you have all these different things. Like, that's the name of the game. People think that they can just you know, I seen what this person puts into it, and it's like a full-time job. You know, making sure everything is good. You know, they make sure the place gets clean right. They don't just leave it up to the cleaners, and you know, they go check to make sure, because your name is attached to this stuff. So you know, it's not a passive income. It's not just a, oh, you just get the apartment, get it put in there, and it's all done. Like, no, it's a full-time operation going with this stuff. So it's definitely, you know, it works. It's working all over the place, and it's not too late. But I think a lot of people think that it's just going to be simple and easy, and it's not by any means. It's not simple. It's not easy. I've seen someone's whole operation, you know, they got to go different places and scout and do all these things and deal with all these issues and, you know, hire a team, all of this stuff. So definitely money in it. What easy? No. Simple? Yes, because it's kind of cut and dry to it, but it takes work. It takes time. So if that's something you want to get into, definitely don't think that you're just going to get into it and the money is just going to start piling in. You know, as Chris will tell you
Definitely.
with what he's doing with Toro, like he's making money, he's seeing how it goes, but you know, eventually once he gets it down, he'll be able to scale it and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
no, but so I'll give my opinion on the consumer side of Airbnb. I used Airbnb last year. I went to LA, and I'll be honest with you, it was my first time. I will never probably rent from a hotel again, because especially if I'm traveling for leisure and not business, I'm gonna choose an Airbnb because it's more a unique stay when you're going somewhere. Like if you go in a hotel is a hotel, right? It's cut and dried. All of them are basically cookie cutter, exactly the same thing, unless you're staying in a luxury hotel, which usually it's going to be a lot more expensive to do that if you're going to a hotel specifically. So from a consumer side, I don't think it's going to get, I don't think it's going to get, I don't think it's going to, business is going to die down. I think business is going to go up, especially when people are making their place even more unique now going forward. Like if you go on Airbnb, you can find like little houses in the forest that are like kind of, I don't know if you guys watched the show on HGTV, but it's called Tiny Homes. You can find tiny homes on there, and like they're designed to be like 70s themed or space themed, and like it's a more beneficial experience for the consumer on their side. So I don't think business is going to go anywhere in regards to that.
No,
And
business is definitely not going anywhere. And what people have to realize is that, you know, one of the big gripes and complaints that people are having is, you know, it's the same that they're having with Uber and Lyft, right? Uber and Lyft now have gotten to a point where it's almost cheaper, and it is cheaper to take taxis these days. Most of the time now, I'm back to almost taking taxis certain places because it's just cheaper. And the same thing is going on with Airbnb. People are complaining about the fees. You got cleaning fees, you got all this and that. But what's
Right.
happening with Airbnb?
Mhm.
Prices just keep going up. Why do prices keep going up? Because people keep going there, right? Prices are going to go. If people aren't renting people's places, best believe prices are going to go down. But it's all about supply and demand. There's not enough people that are Airbnb in their places versus the people that are coming into these and now that everything is back open, I think people forget, you know, this year that we had where we were kind of shut down and things kind of slowed down. I think people kind of forgot how much people travel. You have to realize people are coming in. There's companies and corporations that are buying people's Airbnbs out for months at a time. There's all the, you know, all these conventions are starting to happen again. All these different meetings, people are traveling around again. Everything is starting to pick up. So the supply and the demand isn't matching. That's why everyone's able to make money off of Toro and HireCar. That's why people are able to start their Airbnb and have it rented out for the first month that they list it. It's because of the supply and demand. So it's like, it's not ever going anywhere. If anything, if it does start to take a hit, the only thing that's going to happen is prices are going to, you know, decrease a little bit. But until that actually happens, when the supply reaches the demand, then prices will probably stay the same for a while, or they'll go down for a little bit. But right now, supply and demand, it can't be, you know, a lot of people are like, I'll never stay in an Airbnb, but you have to think there's 50 million other people who are like, I love staying in Airbnb. So it's like, you got people that love, even though you wouldn't do it, you got to take yourself out of the consumer side of things, and you got to start putting your mind to a seller side of things. You got to realize people are going to buy. It might not be you, but you know, if you put it out there, somebody else will get it from you. And that's just a proven fact.
yeah, I'll say
Did you
this.
say you were gonna?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask. Did you say you were gonna do a class on this next week
Not
for
next
Airbnb?
and I'm gonna get everything together. I'm gonna have the person kind of put some stuff together from you guys so I can give you guys a good class just off of their numbers. So it'll be a class on it, but it's gonna be on somebody else's numbers. So I'm gonna make sure I sit down with them, get it good to go for you guys. And then I'll probably even have them
Okay.
on here with me. That way, if you guys have any questions, I want you guys to hear it from their mouth.
Mhm.
So I'm working on that. I don't have
Will
a
they
date.
talk about?
Yeah, they're gonna talk. I'll have them talk about everything. So I don't have an exact date yet, you guys. So just kind of be on the lookout. When I put it out there, I'll put Airbnb talk when I put the message out for you guys.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to say was in regards to Turo and Airbnb are very, very similar. So, for example, the car that I rent out on Turo right now is a 2013 Kia Forte. Would I rent out a 2013 Kia Forte myself? No, I would not. But let me tell you, ever since I put it on, I know you're new to the Zoom, so I put it on there in May. It's been booked out throughout the entire summer so far. So if you're ever hesitant on with anything, one thing I've learned from Well Squad is you got to take the leap of faith and put action into your thoughts, because I promise you, you'll be surprised with the results. Sometimes it'll surprise you, like, man, this is really working out, which is why I'm glad to be a part of the Well Squad. It's been a blessing ever since I've been a part of it.
And it's funny, if you guys go back, if any of you guys are new, me and Chris don't know each other, and that's not Chris Johnson, it's a different Chris. But if you guys go back and listen, he's been in every one of these classes, and you guys can hear him asking all the questions in the first classes, and he was reaching out to me on Instagram. Should I do this? Should I do that? And Chris, what did I tell you? What did I tell you to do?
You told me just go, just take the leap of faith. Go put action into your thoughts. It's one thing to think about it and keep asking questions, but it's another thing to go do it and actually figure out for yourself. So, and I'll tell you, it was a blessing. I'm trying to get 3 more cars right now, and it's been a little bit rough because of the market with cars, but I'm telling you, if you guys are thinking about doing Turo, get into it. Promise you, you will not. Because think about it. Even if you're not making $1,000 a month like some people we see on Instagram, right? People are profiting $1,000 a month, $2,000. If you're profiting $200 a month and you have a car that's brand new and you're driving it for free, put that in perspective. That's $200 more that you had before, and now you eliminated a car payment and insurance. So like, it just, even small gains. Now, if you multiply that by 10, now from 200, we're at $2,000 in profit a month, right? So small baby steps, but actionable baby steps. When you're actually going out there and doing it is most important, because the knowledge is great, but knowledge is only a dream unless you apply it. So
Can I jump in real quick? I just want to remind the rest that, like, there's downsides to also, because somebody can rent your car and can do something to it. But someone said Turo is like an insurance game, whatever. So I don't really know, but I'm planning to get into it too. But I just want to also like remind the other people listening too, like, you should also focus on, there's also downsides to everything. So it's good money, but you always got to realize,
Of course, there's always going to be, there's downsides to real estate, there's downsides to the stock market, there's downsides to owning a business, there's downsides to just sitting in the house, sitting on the couch all day. There's downsides to everything in life, right? We don't paint a picture that everything is going to be great, everything is going to be green. We just seen that Ashley, who's Chris Johnson's sister, someone stole her car. Her car was on Turo. Someone just completely stole her car. So there's gonna be bumps in the road that you guys are gonna come across, but you're just gonna have to cross those bridges when you get there, right? You guys gotta learn from other people's mistakes, hear what other people are saying, and use that to your advantage. So her car got stolen. How could she have avoided getting her car getting stolen? Well, put a GPS tracker on it, put a kill switch. Well, somebody had a kill switch on their car and someone removed it. So what do? Put multiple kill switches. And that's why you have insurance. And that's why you have all these different things. So it's like, I know there's so many things and so many obstacles, and yes, everything is not great. Yes, you're not going to make, millions of dollars right away from just doing this or doing that, but you have to take small actionable steps. Like Chris said, you guys got to take these steps. You got to keep moving forward every day. I wish I could turn this on and show you guys in my room that I'm in. I have 2 whiteboards right now. One whiteboard is a calendar for everything that I have going on for the month. Another whiteboard is a calendar that has all these things that I need to do, that I need to make sure that, okay, every day I need to get this done. Every day I have something that I have to get done to keep taking a step. And it's easy, actionable stuff, right? It's simple stuff. It's easy tasks, but every day, every week, 24 hours in a day, there's no excuse to where you can't do something to either give yourself new knowledge, study something, look up something, just look at a few property deals, reach out to someone. It's easy to just sit around and do nothing all day. You know what I mean? So all you guys are in the Well Squad. I know you guys want more. I know you guys, everyone wants to get that financial freedom. Everybody wants that time freedom, that location freedom. But it's like, what are you guys doing to get there? You can't let, you know, the small stuff scare you away. You can't let someone's gonna, you know, that's why you have insurance to cover that stuff. If you do the Airbnb route, someone trashes your place, burns it on fire, that's what you have insurance for. If you get into real estate, that's why you need to run your numbers. You need to make sure it makes sense to you. And if it doesn't on that first deal that you get into, you need to go back and figure out, okay, here are my numbers. I wrote it down. Now I'm in this deal. These numbers aren't matching up to what I thought it was going to match up. Why didn't it match up to what I thought? Where did I go wrong? So that way, when I get into my next deal, I know not to make that mistake again. If someone stole my car, I listed on Turo, or this happened, someone put unlimited miles, someone drove their car from the East Coast to the West Coast. How do you do this? How do you keep going, moving forward? So it's like when you get these obstacles and you get these things, don't look at it as, damn, I knew this was going to happen to me. I knew I shouldn't have got into this. You need to look at it like, nah, all right, this happened. So how can I move forward and make sure this doesn't happen again? Because there's always going to be stuff that's going to go wrong. It's just inevitable. There's nothing you can do. You know, you can't predict the future or what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. But I tell you what, not doing anything, not putting anything into motion will keep you in the same position that you're in. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I want to keep leveling up. I want to keep getting better. Like I said, I'm not trying to get perfect. I'm just trying to get better every day.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. If you guys follow Gerald Peters as well, he talks about this a lot actually on his lives, on his story. If you don't have problems, right, you're probably not doing enough. If everything's going perfectly fine, you're probably not taking enough risk in life. And, you know, Gerald has been through a lot in his life. So I take every word he says to heart. And to be honest with you, it's true, because I was working a 9 to 5. Everything was fine and dandy. Right. Everything was paid on time. I was getting at least a $10,000 check every single month. I got laid off in May. And if it wasn't for Turo, and there's been bumps in the road, I had to do some maintenance on the car and stuff like that. But the more problems I accumulate, I learn and I grow from it. And one thing I took that very to heart. If you don't have any problems whatsoever, you're not doing enough. So put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Put yourself in a situation to where you need to learn and you need to grow. Because I promise you, on the other end, even if Turo ends up failing for you, or Airbnb or real estate, it'll build that mental strength to where whatever business does take off for you, or whatever idea does take off for you, you'll be ready for it because you are already tailoring yourself and you are already conditioning yourself for that. So
there we go. Good stuff. Cool. All right, you guys, any other questions out there?
I have a question. My name is Whitney. I'm in Chicago. I'm actually doing short-term rental and Turo out here, but I'm looking into acquisitions and multifamily investing. Do you have some insight while I'm doing Turo and Airbnb and Verbo? I'm using the opportunity to build business credit. Do you have any insight as far as funding with hard money lenders to acquire properties, multifamilies specifically?
Yeah, so there actually is one. Shoot me a message and I can give you his information. I've actually passed his information off to a few people. So if any of you guys out there are interested in getting in contact with a good hard money lender, just shoot me a message on the Well Squad and I'll give you guys his social media. I don't believe he's in the Well Squad, but he really appreciates, you know, what me and Chris do, and he's always willing to help out. So if any of you guys looking for hard money lenders, shoot me a message and I'll get you guys his information.
where do you want
Okay,
to,
doing that now.
What's
I'm
that?
sorry.
where to send you the message, on here or on social media?
You can hit me or wherever, Chris.
All right, got you.
Another question, as far as I know you mentioned getting properties via auctions. Do you have some insight, I guess, as far as preparation before going to the auction? Obviously, you have in capital, but anything else, I guess, as far as getting prepared for what you would do differently and things like that?
Definitely. So for any of you guys, you know, this has been for me, it's been a fun experience. You know, I don't know if I showed the property at all. I need to show you guys how destroyed this property is. I mean, the roof is horrible. It's all bad, you know, and it's good because I just used it as a lesson. It was either going to be a lesson going forward with auction properties, or it's just going to be a lesson in losing money in this deal. But I will say this, learn, you know, when you go to these auctions, you can go get the list, and a lot of times they'll either be by the auction number, they have it by like a lot number type deal, to where you have to figure out what the address is. Go physically see any property that you're thinking about buying. I don't care. I seriously, go. If you can't look at the property, if you can't take the time to go look at the property, and most auctions, I believe, put out most of them will put it out at least 48 hours before the auction is set. Some of them, yeah, I don't know any of them that just don't show it. But from all the auctions that I've seen and been a part of, they give you plenty of time. They give you the address, you know, do a little research, but go physically see the address, check with the county to make sure that, you know, power, water, sewer, see if there's any type of back anything, you know, back taxes. Obviously you'll see that at the auction based on the auction that you're on, but definitely get as much information as you can. Go physically see the property. You won't be able to look on the inside, but you will be able to look on the outside on most of the properties and just get a good look. That's really the main key things, is you want to know how much money is owed tied to this property, because you're going to have to fit the bill for that. And then also look and see the type of shape. You know, obviously you can't see the inside, so you won't have a good idea on the inside, but the outside will give you a pretty good picture. And if there are windows, you can go look at the windows and things like that. And, you know, sometimes people have squatters in the house still living there. So, you know, driving by that's definitely, because that's going to be something you're going to have to deal with moving forward. So you would want to you would need to figure out what the laws are for that county on getting squatters out. So, you know, that might be another costly bill, taking people to court and things like that. So do as much due diligence as you possibly can. But out of everything that I just told you, the most important thing is looking at that property for sure. Physically looking at it, I would say is really one. Next to looking at it, see what's all tied to it as far as like back taxes, back utilities, all that good stuff. If you know the zoning, you know, sometimes they won't even tell you that the zoning changed and that you can't even either redo that property how you want to. It might be zoned in like a business district or something like that. So really do some good due diligence from getting these homes from auction. You know, the upside to buying properties from auction is that you really can find a diamond in the rough, right? You can really get, you know, $150,000 property for like 10 grand if there's not that many people at the auction, or, you know, you just did really good due diligence and you found something that other people didn't. So you can really find some diamonds in the roughs. All it's going to take is your time, right? It's not going to cost you any money to go get all this information. It's just going to take you your time.
Gotcha. I appreciate it. I'll be sending you a message about the hard money lender.
Okay.
Thanks.
For sure. No problem. Really good questions, you guys. Like I said, there is no stupid question. There is no topics that's off. Like I said, we talk about a lot of different stuff. I try to keep it within real estate, but as you guys see, we have, you know, people doing a lot of good stuff. So really any questions you guys have, fire them away.
How many times can a person do an FHA loan?
After you get an FHA loan, then you turn around, you can refinance it to a conventional, you can turn around and use it again. Do it again, and you can do it. You can keep going.
Does that also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, does that also apply for a VA loan? I'm military and I just purchased my first home.
Oh man,
using my VA.
Now, if we have any vets in here in my blood, you know, I get a little excited talking about VA loans. So if any of you guys are in here, you guys are currently serving, did serve, and you guys have a VA loan, you guys have access to $1 million in real estate. Obviously, they're not going to just give you it without you proving that you have the finances to kind of back it. But you can get two properties. So you can get two fourplexes under one VA loan. You can get two properties, you know, up to a fourplex under one VA loan if you don't use your max cap. So you have tier 1, tier 2. You can reuse your VA loan as many times as you want. You know, you get enough equity in one property, refinance it into a conventional, and then turn around and get another property using the VA. So the VA allows you to get a single family home, a duplex, which is 2 units, a triplex, which is 3 units, or a fourplex, which is 4 units. And you could just keep hopping, keep using it.
Okay, great.
Ace, how long do you have to be in the military to get that?
I believe 3 years, if I can remember right. You have to serve 3 years.
Never mind.
Yeah, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 years before you fully qualify for it, and then you can't. You have to have an honorable discharge. You can't have a dishonorable discharge.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you can have other than honorable, but you can't have dishonorable to qualify for it.
I was about to go get in the military for a year.
No, but for the for anyone that's done 4 years in the military, the benefits alone, hands down, is between the GI Bill and the VA home loan right there can turn anybody into a millionaire if done right, if done right. So and I talk about for Jeremy, I think that's you that asked that question. If you go back there, I don't remember which video it is, but I gave a lot of free game on I set someone up on how to get themselves to financial freedom utilizing the VA home loan. So go back and find that video. I believe it was like the third or the fourth real estate video we did.
Okay,
You did.
I definitely check it
You
out.
did it again a couple, like 4 classes ago too, or
Yeah.
5 classes ago.
Yeah. Yep.
I do have a question about the VA home
Yeah.
loan real quick.
Sure.
You mentioned that you can get the duplex or the triplex. Do you have to also live in that property for a year?
For 1 year, correct. So the VA,
Okay.
their stipulation is you have to make it your primary resident for at least 1 year, so that 1 year and 1 day you can rent out. Or if your job takes you to somewhere else, you can also get out of that. Or if your family increases, you can get out of it as well. So there are ways to get out of that 1 year stipulation.
Okay. Thank you.
Without breaking any rules. It's all within the guidelines. So there are stipulations that happen, things happen, people move, things come up. But there are ways to get around not having to live in your place for 1 year. And I've used 2 of those reasonings to get out of not having to live for 1 year. And I didn't do anything illegal. It was completely within the guidelines. You just have to write them a letter saying, hey, either my family is growing, I'm moving, blah, 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 whatever it is, but they'll tell you what you can and can't do in there.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
How you doing? I got a quick question. I sent you a message as well about the hard lender.
Okay.
And threw this question in there. But I'm new to all of this. And I might be diving in the deep end, to be honest. I'm looking to, the only way my head is wrapped around it is a long-term lease to own scenario with this property owner to utilize for my business as a commercial property.
Okay.
Putting a whole plan together. And so I'm looking for potentially anybody that you might be able to connect me with to talk about developing that contract with this property owner, or any insight you might have towards those agreements.
So those are those agreements, you definitely got to have them done by a professional. There are legal agencies that will help you with that, and that's actually a really good route. So if you guys can find those type of deals, that's a good way for you to what does he want 25% or what?
So this is a little convoluted, but I have a community benefit organization, and he's actually told me he wants to partner with it to watch it. He just bought the property, and so he doesn't want to sell it right away, but he wants to partner in seeing the community benefit organization grow. So I'm trying to structure it in the way of, like I said, lease to own, because ultimately, and I don't have the money up front, but I want to buy the property and all that kind of stuff. So I would say he's working with me to find the right path forward so that we all benefit.
Yeah.
Ideally.
So some ways that you guys can get creative with that is you guys can come up with a good game plan, right? So we'll say, I'm just giving you an example. So you guys can say, okay, 4 years, at that 4 year mark, what you plan to do is, he comes up with a price today, right? What is his price today that he would be willing to sell you this property for, right? So you guys hold that price is on hold. So you say, okay, this is my plan by year 4. And, you get all this in the legal contract. That's why, get all this drawn up legally before, you do all this stuff. But anyway, so you tell them, hey, by year 4, I'll cash you out at that price. And what you can do is you can turn around, you can refinance. You can refinance, that way you can cash them out at whatever that price is. And, that's one way for you to get creative with that. And there's other ways. So like I said, just whatever really works for you, or what you see, where you see that property value being in the next 4 to 5 years will, determine on how creative you can get with that. But it's definitely a good route to go. But yeah, shoot me a message so I can get you in contact with those hard money lenders. and they do.
I will do.
He does a lot of commercial deals, and they don't require much. They don't dig as deep as most typical banks do. They're pretty easy and pretty dry cut. So I'll definitely get you in talk with him. I don't believe they do any of those contracts, so you might just have to reach out to some lawyers and things like that. But
Yep.
as far as on the money side of things, they'll definitely be able to hook you up. But he might even be able
Perfect.
to. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know what he does or
For sure.
doesn't know. I just haven't heard him mention anything like that. So yeah, but that's good that you have someone that's willing. That's you just really got the hardest part out of the way. And the type of deal that you have going on, what most people do is they have to find people that own these buildings. They have to send them letters. They have to, reach out and, sometimes you'd have to call hundreds of people before you find someone willing to sell and someone to get as creative on the deal like you're about to get. So that's pretty cool, man. I hope it works out.
I was lucky to connect with him a year ago, right before the pandemic, and then just kept hitting him up. And it's to the point where he texts with me. So I'm like, okay, let's figure out what we can put on paper now.
I'm telling you, don't let this go. Don't let this go, because it's hard to find a owner who because really you have to find distressed owners to get these type of deals under contract. People who are in divorce, family member that just took over the property, doesn't know what to do with it, and those people are hard to find. So you found the gold mine, just without even having to do too much. So definitely stay on top of this and close this deal out. It'd be great for you, your organization, and it'll just be great to have under your belt.
Well, thank you guys for the insight, and I'll definitely, like I said, I shot you a message, so thank you very much.
No problem.
Not sure if you invest in the Midwest, but what is?
All right, you guys got any other questions for me before we wrap this up? All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Kind of. It's a little low.
How about now?
It's still really low, but go ahead. I can try to put my head to the speaker, I guess.
Not sure if you invest in the Midwest, but what is the best Midwest states to invest in for rental property?
There really is no such thing as really the best. You just want to figure out, where you'll get the most bang for your money, right? I always preach to people about looking in the Ohio area. And then also even, we had someone in the Jersey area who was telling me that you're able to get properties out there in that, between the $80,000 to $100,000 price range, and you're able to bring back $1,300 in rent. So, you're just going to have to do the research based on what type of money you're looking to spend, what type of rents you're looking to get in, and then that really will determine what area is kind of better for you, because it's not really easy to say, yep, this is the best state for you to go invest, because you might not find the same deal that I was able to find in this state, right? Just because the timing or whatever. So you're just going to have to do research. You're going to have to know your numbers, your bottom line, what you're looking to spend, what you're looking to get in for rents, and then just kind of do some research from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey Ace, I had a quick question here.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
All right, how about you?
Doing good, man. So now, right now that you brought up Ohio, right? I've been looking into Ohio for rental properties, and I'm brand new to all this, right? Been like in the West Squad for a bit. Been watching the real estate videos and whatnot, right? And kind of just doing my own research and whatnot. So I just had a question, because I do know that you've talked about Ohio for a bit. I was trying to see if you had any I guess real estate, good real estate agents that I can get in contact with.
Man, I wouldn't be in the Well Squad if I didn't. Come on now.
Right.
You got pen and paper ready?
I sure do. I really do.
All right. This guy's name is Roland Gosney. He's really good. So if any of you guys are in the area, you want to hit this guy up. He's a pretty good real estate agent. What's that?
His name was Roland
Gosney. So Gosney. So his number is 330-259-6974.
Right on, man. Damn.
So reach out to him. Say, hey, I'm a new I'm new to real estate. I got your number from someone that works with you. And he just told me to reach out to you. So reach out to him. You can shoot him let me see if I did. Yeah, just shoot him a message, either a text, give him a call, and then just ask to be put on his email list. So kind of tell him, you know, you're new to this, tell him kind of your price range of the properties that you're kind of looking for. And I'm sure he has, I don't know what type of lenders or network he has, but he sends me great deals all the time. As far as deals, he sends me great deals all the time. So I don't know. I haven't worked with him as far as getting lenders and things like that because I have my own lenders. So I don't know how good his network is, but the deals that he sends me are great deals. So he'll at least be able to send you some good deals at minimum.
Man, nice. I really appreciate it, man.
No
I
problem.
didn't think it was gonna be that easy, but
come on, man. I'm not giving these classes for no reason.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so
problem.
much.
No problem, bro. Good luck, and let me know if you reach out to him, and just reach out to me. Let me know how it goes with them.
Yeah, sure will. Sure will.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Last question. Where's your previous videos? Where can I find those?
In the Well Squad University.
University. Okay.
Yep. Cool. All right, you guys, we're gonna wrap up this week's class. A lot of great questions, a lot of great interaction. That's kind of my favorite part. You know, I love dropping knowledge and teaching you guys different things, but my favorite part is when we get to the end, I get to hear, you know, your guys' stories and the questions and things like that. And like I said, you know, this is always a safe environment. No question is a dumb question. Anyone that's been in any of my classes, we don't laugh, we don't make fun of anybody. So, you know, the next class you guys have, just, you know, I always recommend you guys write your questions down and just fire them off. Like that's what we do this for. That's what I do this for. You know, if I can't answer your guys' question, someone else on here might be able to, or I might be able to point you guys in the right direction. So I never claim that I know it all. I know I don't know it all. I'm still learning. I'm still growing as well. You know, I'm just constantly going. So like I always say, I appreciate all of your guys' time. I don't take it lightly. That's why, you know, I try to give you guys my all when I do these classes. And like I said, let's just keep leveling up. Make sure you guys utilize this network that we have in the Well Squad because it's really great. We have a lot of good people doing stuff. And as you guys have been hearing, we have a lot of people doing a lot of good things. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the questions. You know, it's Monday. Let's attack this week. You know, let's go at it hard, and like how we do every week, just keep it up. So I appreciate all you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
Have a good night, Ace. We need that barbecue, by the way.
I know, man. Working on it. So many things, man, but it's in the works.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Appreciate it, Ace, man. You have a good one.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Yep.